You know, they go about this every, a couple times a year. They usually have a pretty good blowout, nasty blowout, really not good.
You got like 10 people here waiting, you know what I mean, on you, on the king.
You're wrong.
I understand that.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Listen, I make the decisions around here, okay?
But can't we work together on these things?
When American Choppers premiered in 2003, it pioneered a new trend and format that most reality TV shows followed. The show's unique style of mixing human relationships with workplace drama was one of the reasons why it was so successful. All the action in the show took place at Orange County Choppers, a motorcycle customization shop in southern New York. The theatrics and drama between cast members like Paul Teutul Senior, his son Paul Jr., Rick Petko, Vinnie DiMartino, and Mikey Teutul are why viewers remain glued to the show.
I'll bash your friggin' skull and stop.
Give me the...
Here, you wanna play?
No, I don't wanna play.
Now that American Choppers has bit the dust, where are these cast members in 2023?
This is the original pilot that was done in 2002. I still have that. So that's where it started right there.
Paul Teutul Senior. Let's start with the head and owner of Orange County Choppers. After the show's end, he managed to keep his shop open with new team members. However, things haven't been going well for Senior. In 2018, American Choppers was one of the TV shows that was part of the reboot craze. New episodes were shot for new seasons, but the reboot, called Orange County Choppers American Made, was marred by lawsuits, and Teutul is the one to blame. The lawsuits began in 2017 when Senior was sued by his business partner Thomas Derbyshire. Derbyshire argued in court that Senior used the money he invested in the rebooted show for personal use. It was an outright case of fraud. Senior also made things worse when he tried to change the ownership deal into a 50-50 split from the 51-49 split that favored Derbyshire and made him the owner. In the same lawsuit, Derbyshire also claimed that Senior delayed production by taking a lengthy fishing trip, not showing up to shoot, and refusing to do scenes with Rusty Coons, a Hell's Angel higher-up, something he was contractually obligated to do. Derbyshire also mentioned that Senior made product placement deals without consulting him or seeking his approval. We understand that Senior was probably unhappy he lacked full control of Orange County Choppers and the new show, but he shouldn't have tried cheating his business partner. You'd be wrong if you thought that's all Senior has been up to since then. In 2018, Senior had to appear in a courtroom in New York for mediation and a different lawsuit. This time around, things were more dramatic as he was escorted out of the courtroom by security during the mediation. Senior had been in court with his lawyers, trying to reach an agreeable outcome with the lawyers of JTM Motorsports, a company that Senior had promised to promote so they would work for free on his Corvette. Senior failed to do the promotion, and he was asked to pay $50 a day to JTM to store the car until the legal proceedings were concluded. Senior wasn't too happy with the mediation. He increasingly got agitated and began screaming swear words asking JTM to give him back his car. He even leaned over the table and lunged at the attorneys. Senior had to be escorted out of the courtroom by 3 courtroom officers. Later in 2018, just a day before the reboot of the TV series launched, Paul Senior filed for bankruptcy. Senior admitted that he owed nearly 50 creditors $1.07 million and was only worth $1.8 million. According to the court documents he brought forward, Senior claimed he earned just over $15,000 monthly, spending almost $13,000. While Senior earns more than he spends, he cannot pay off his debts. By filing for bankruptcy, Senior hoped to receive some legal protection, but in 2019, the trustee in charge of the case asked the court to refuse Teutul's petition for bankruptcy because he never supplied the proper documents. Amidst declaring his financial woes, Senior tried to sell his enormous home in Montgomery, New York. Not a smart move if you ask us. The asking price for the property was $2.9 million. That was enough money to get him out of his debts. He dropped the price to $2.45 million, but eventually sold it for $1.65 million. If Senior hadn't been so desperate, he might have gotten more than the asking price of $2.9 million. After this, Senior relocated to Florida and established the Orange County Choppers and Museum in his new location. The new location also features a restaurant and music venue. Now, Senior is once more busy with his life again, doing what he probably loves doing best. We know where Senior is now, but how about Junior? Paul Teutul Jr. Junior had a rough time with his father while American Choppers ran, and after he was fired from Orange County Choppers, which he co-owned at the time, he left to create his own company, Paul Jr. Designs, but that was after he served a 1-year non-compete clause. One would think Junior was done dealing with Senior, but they found themselves at loggerheads again when Senior tried forcing Junior into selling him his 20% share of the company. Senior had to forego the lawsuit and was forced to make amends. While the Senior Teutul really wanted to, he couldn't let go of Junior because it would mean a breach in the contract with Discovery Channel and would have meant the show would have been canceled. Since they couldn't get away from each other, they both had to star in a spin-off series called American Choppers Senior vs. Junior. That spin-off came to an end in 2012. Junior returned to Paul Jr. Designs and has been doing his own thing since then. He designed a dog park in Montgomery, New York, and works with big clients like Blizzard Entertainment and Paramount. He also has his own broadcast, has been married to Rachel Beaster since 2010, and they have a son named Hudson. Unlike his father, Junior is doing quite well, with an estimated net worth of $2 million. Vincent DiMartino. Vinnie joined Orange County Choppers thanks to his relationship with Junior in high school. While Senior and Junior argued over everything, which made for great television, work still had to continue at OCC, and it all fell to the skills of cast members like Vinnie. He joined OCC in 2002, but left in 2007 due to professional boredom and needing to grow. After leaving, Vinnie set up his own shop, V-Force Customs, but that venture didn't last very long. He experienced a setback as soon as he left OCC. The 2008 financial crisis affected him hard, and he had to adapt to new economic realities. As motorcycle sales declined and interest in custom builds and modifications waned owing to a lack of purchasing power, Vinnie adapted his company model to incorporate routine automobile maintenance to create a more consistent income stream. Vinnie ran V-Force for 5 years before he gave it up for DiMartino Motorsports. Another cast member that's also building something other than bikes is Rick Petko. Rick was OCC's builder and fabricator. According to Vinnie, Rick is good at what he does and is the only true biker at OCC. While at OCC and on the show, Rick was responsible for various interesting rides. When the Teutul's split, Rick stayed with Senior but remained on good terms with Junior. He attended Junior's wedding in 2012. Rick is a family man with 2 daughters, and he had to take a 90-minute commute to work every day. To be with his family, he took a job closer to his home as a chief fabricator at the Pocono Mountain Harley-Davidson complex in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, helping customers with their custom rides. He also runs a small knife forging company called RPD & Co. from his home. Mikey Teutul. Mike is the 3rd member of the Teutul family that's around to help maintain a tenuous peace. He was hired to do entry-level work like cleaning and taking calls at OCC, but teamed up with another cast member, Vinnie, to build the Mikey Vinnie bike. Mikey is a funny, friendly guy who tried to keep things chill between Senior and Junior, but he left the show in 2012 to seek peace and work on his relationship with his dad. He returned later on, working for both OCC and Paul Jr. Designs. Mikey is an artist. Part of his time away was spent opening an art gallery in Montgomery, New York to feature his paintings. The gallery closed in 2014, but Mikey opened another artistic project in 2016, a web series highlighting New York City's homelessness problem. This series was called Bummin' Around. Jason Pohl. Jason is another cast member who has mostly avoided social media since the show ended. He upgraded his title from being a motorcycle designer to an industrial designer. He designs unique and innovative pieces using a 3F printing. He works as the brand ambassador at SolidWorks, where he never fails to wow his clients by designing cutting-edge designs. He also presented at the Makers Design Summit, revealing his creative workflow, recent creations, and favorite tools. Jason also discovered the love of his life in Crystal, with whom he has 4 lovely children with. Nick Hansford. Nick met Paul Senior at Daytona Bike Week in 2000, and after moving to New York in 2002, he ended up working for OCC as a bike servicer and Southeast distributor. He kept appearing on the show and working for OCC until 2019. Nick wasn't as popular as Vinnie or Rick, but he had some screen time on the show. He's currently married with 2 kids and lives with his family in Virginia. Cody Connolly. Cody was a kid when he joined OCC. He joined the shop as a 14-year-old intern from high school. After finishing school, he put the skills he had garnered at the shop to work and was designing and fixing a bike till 2007. Connolly made tabloid headlines in 2009 when he filed a lawsuit against one of his former employers. According to the lawsuit, Connolly claimed that he was only compensated for only 1/3 of the episodes in which he featured and nothing for public engagements that promoted OCC. He further claimed that the show utilized his image in American Chopper goods when he departed. Worse, Teutul Senior never delivered the promised chopper he'd labored on. Connolly requested $250,000 in restitution. When Vinnie left OCC to create V-Force, Connolly left OCC to work for him. He continued with what he used to do at OCC at V-Force before returning to work at Paul Jr.'s design shop. However, Cody has since left the world of professional bikes.